Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sashtavi and today we are doing a very exciting reading vlog. Today I'm reading some books that I've been looking forward to reading all year. Like I've had my eyes on them since last year and I'm finally getting to them. I'm so excited. It is of course the Divine Rivals duology. I think it's called the Letters of Enchantment duology, but I don't see that anywhere here, so I'm not sure. These books have been all the hype for a while now. Like I feel like everyone and their mother has read them, so I'm so looking forward to reading these as well. It is a romantasy. It's about two journalists, I believe, who are caught in like a multiversal mystical godly war. It's supposed to be enemies to lovers, I believe. I'm genuinely like on the edge of my seat. I got them a couple of days back from Page Eaters and I have been waiting to open them up and read them ever since. Finally, 3 days later, we're getting to it. So the first book is The Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, and then we have Ruthless Vows again by Rebecca Ross. I got a little distracted and walked off and didn't realize I never finished filming this. So yeah, back to this. I don't remember what I was saying last time, but I'm really excited to read these. Like I said, these are romantasies. Super excited for it. It's obviously right up my alley, and I feel like I might like it. From everything that I've heard about it, I've tried to avoid any kind of spoilers, any kind of quotes as much as possible, but from whatever I've seen, I think this might be for me. The vlog will have spoilers of all kinds. These books have been out in the world for a while now, so I think I would like to discuss everything that I feel about these books at length. If you haven't read these books, maybe read them and come back, but if you have read them, let's have fun together. Without waiting any longer, let's get into it. Let's start with Divine Rivals. Update time. I unfortunately did not get enough time in the evening to read the book, so I'm only 30 pages in, but the first 30 pages has given me a little bit more of insight into what the story is. So two gods are at war, Darkrai and Enva. There's a lot of mysticism attached in this world. Like Enva, the goddess, she invites people to fight for her through song. There are some magical aspects here and there throughout the story. Like she walks into a grocery store and the grocery store immediately shelves itself according to her financial situation, which I think is so fascinating. Like little things like this, the way little bits of magic are working around here is reminding me of the way Stephanie Garber builds her worlds. So it's really fascinating to me. And I just reached the part where she writes letters to her brother and sends them into the wardrobe, and a letter just came back to her and it's not from Forrest. So I'm guessing that letter is from Roman. I'm liking the writing so far as well. It's very gentle and comforting. I just feel excited to move ahead and find out more. I've reached the part where she's doing a little bit of research about the Ethereals. It's just making me wonder if like Enva and Darkrai were lovers once. I don't know. Okay, so I've read about 60 pages now. So the reason why they're getting each other's letters is because I guess their houses are on ley lines, at least Roman's is. But then like Roman's house experiences bits and bobs of magic, but I haven't seen anything about Iris's house, so I don't know if her house is on ley lines or if it's just something to do with the wardrobe or with the typewriter. I don't know. Also, I just read the part where his parents announced his arranged marriage. Interesting twist. Honestly, like I'm getting that feeling. You know that feeling you start getting in your bones when you're reading a book and you feel like, oh, wow, this is gonna be a good one. I feel it coming. I'm getting that giddy feeling in my bones right now. So I just want to read ahead. I want to read as much as possible tonight. I have a free day tomorrow, so I'll probably be reading the entire day tomorrow as well. So I'm looking forward to this. Bro, he's getting married in a month. That's like so soon. Also, I love all the name inserts she keeps putting for his C name, his middle name. Like over here it says Roman Coddled Kit. I am loving these subtle bits. Also, Prindle was telling Iris about how everyone thought she and Kit would get together, and she's like, but he's never even looked at me that way. And she's like, what do you mean, Vinno? Once I saw him, and then she couldn't complete her sentence. Saw him what? Saw him what? I want to know. Tell me, Prindle. Which, by the way, Prindle, what a weird name. It reminds me of when Mr. Mosby was teaching London how to drive. So this book is divided into 3 different parts, and I just got done with part 1. I love that every part has a little bit of art in there. It's very cute. I am genuinely so captivated by the story so far. It's very unique, very different from anything I have personally read before. The story just feels so gentle and yet so close to your heart somehow. I don't know how to describe it. There are a few lines in the book that I really enjoyed that I want to read out to you. There's this part where Iris and Roman are talking and Roman laughs, and this is what Iris thinks. She has to resist the temptation to laugh with him because, of course, he would have one of those sorts of laughs, the one you couldn't hear and not feel in your chest. I know exactly what she means. There's this really beautiful section where Roman asks her how it feels to know that her brother is missing, and she says it feels like wearing shoes that are too small. With every step, you notice it. It feels like blisters on your heels. It feels like a lump of ice in your chest that never melts. And you can only sleep a few hours at a time because you're always wondering where they are, and those worries seep into your dreams. If they're alive or wounded or sick. Some days you wish that you could take their place no matter the cost, just so you can have the peace of knowing their fate. Very well written. Also, the fact that he waited by her door to make sure she locked it. Little things matter so much. I feel like the way she writes is so simple, and yet she wraps the words so beautifully together. Iris has lost her mother. She's written to Roman about what she's gone through, and Roman has written back and shared about his sister, which is really sad. And he shared his own experience with grief with her. And in his letter, he says, "But I know what it feels like to lose someone you love, to feel as if you're left behind or like your life is in shambles and there's no guidebook to tell you how to stitch it back together. But time will slowly heal you as it is doing for me. There are good days and there are difficult days. Your grief will never fully fade and will always be with you, a shadow you carry in your soul, but it will become fainter as your life becomes brighter. You will learn to live outside of it again. As impossible as that may sound, others who share your pain will also help you heal, because you are not alone. Not in your fear or your grief or your hopes or your dreams. You are not alone." That is just so meaningful. Then also I admire her writing in little places here and there, like this paragraph. He didn't answer, but his gaze held hers, and she thought she saw something flicker through him, like a star falling from the cosmos, or a coin underwater reflecting the sun. Something fierce and vulnerable and very unexpected. So now she has left her apartment. She's gonna go try to get a job at the Tribune to be at the war front. I'm genuinely curious to see what happens ahead, both in terms of her and the war and her brother, and also what happens between her and Roman. How will they stay connected? I thought the letters were supposed to be the main thing between them, right? But I wonder if what is helping her send these letters to him is not the apartment itself, but the typewriter. Let's start with part 2. The third alouette. Wait, I just realized the chapter name is the third alouette in the second half. And that is what her typewriter is called. It's her grandmother's typewriter. Interesting. So I was right. It is the typewriters, which is fascinating. But now we found out that there were 3 typewriters. So one is in the museum, one is with Iris, and the other one is with Kit, obviously. My only thing is okay, so now she writes a letter, it goes to him, he writes a letter, it goes to her. But like there's 3 letters, right? There's 3 typewriters, right? So what if like letter goes to the typewriter? Or like back in the day with her grandmother, when they want to talk to each other, the 3 of them, how would they write one letter and it would split to the other 2 people? Would they have to address the 2 people of the 2 typewriters? Like, how does that work? Also, like, her typewriter has so far been sending the letters to Roman. What if the typewriter had just been sending the letters to the first typewriter, which is in the museum? That would be strange. So like, how do the logistics work is basically what I'm thinking. And these are very unnecessary questions, but I have them and I would love to know. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day. I read a bit more last night. I think I read almost 150 pages. So this is how far I am into the book. That's almost halfway. I woke up and I had some work to do, and I was like taking some pictures for my bookstagram, which if you aren't following, please do. And it's now 3:30 p.m. So I'm gonna start reading the book right now, but so far so good. We've reached the part where she is experiencing her first time with a siren and the hounds have come. Very interesting. I'm still getting a grasp on the lore and the magic system in this world. It's very fascinating. I honestly would love to find out more, would love more history from this book, from the story. So I hope we get that. So far, enjoying it. So without further ado, let's continue reading. just finished part 2. We're starting with part 3 now. A lot of interesting stuff has happened. Roman showed up, and now both Roman and Iris are going to the front lines. That's gonna be interesting to see. Of course, he still hasn't told her that he's the one writing the letters to her, which I really feel like if this turns into one of those storylines where she finds out and then she hates him for not telling her, and then they stretch out the resolution for a whole book, I don't think I will appreciate that. So I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Beyond that, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the book. I just also feel like I don't know why she still hasn't figured out that it could be him. Like she's familiar with Roman's writing style already. She has all these facts about him. Like if you just think a little bit and try to figure it out, you'll realize that it's Roman. Let's see what this third half has for us. I'm also just really excited to see the war ahead, like from the front lines, because this entire lore, this history has been so inviting to me that I really am looking forward to seeing more. Gonna keep reading and let's see where we go from here. You guys, so much has been happening and they reached the front lines, and just when I thought things were slowing down, they've been attacked by an artillery. Insanity, and like a bomb went off, and like Roman is like hurt, like he's really hurt. But like this entire time, like when the fighting started, all he could think of was that she has to survive this, and like he had no thoughts in his head except that Iris has to survive. Oh my god. He was absolutely thinking about certain things, and he was thinking of what things he wants to, things that he's grateful for, and this is what he was thinking. His gratitude for the wind, Iris. His future articles, Iris. How much longer until sundown, Iris. Oh my god. And then she was looking at him and he says he could lose himself in those hazel eyes and wanting to calm the fear that blazed within her. So she's finally realized that she wants him, but they're in the middle of a fucking war, which I think it's really interesting. I personally haven't read a lot of war stories before. So this is fairly new, fantasy or otherwise. Like I'll read stories with like battles happening, right? Lots of fantasy books. But this is like a proper war going on. It's very interesting to read about, I must say. She's finally in a lorry and they're heading back into town. But reading all of that was honestly a little insane. Reading what it's like to be in the trenches, and then the story Lieutenant Lark told her about their platoon, and now he's passed as well. And there's a line he says when he's telling her the story. He tells her, "We woke up this morning to one world and now the sun is setting on another." And honestly, that's how I feel about this chapter. I feel like everything before this was one thing, and now the tone of the story has shifted from this chapter on, because that was heavy. He asked her for a synonym for sublime, and he's mentioned the word sublime in the last letter. She's figuring it out. It's happening. It's happening. She's figuring it out. Oh my god. A divine threshold, a sublime feast. So they're talking about it now that she knows. She says, "I need to go, kid. Here, take your letters. I don't want them." And he's like, "What do you mean you don't want them? They're mine." This is such a serious moment, but I can't. He asked her, "Why do you think I'm here?" And this girl says, "You're here to outshine me again. You're here to prove your writing is far superior to mine, just like you did at the Gazette." Girl, be so for real right now. Like, is it not obvious? He is kissing her. Y'all, he was this close to proposing to her, like this close. And I just read the part where they're still sending each other letters, and they decided to meet in the garden the next morning, and that's where he proposed to her. I have a bad feeling. I read so many fantasy books that I can't savor a good moment. I just keep getting scared all the time. And I feel like something's gonna happen and the proposal might not happen, or the proposal will happen and immediately after something bad will happen and they'll get separated or something. I don't know. He asked her, he said, "Marry me, Iris Elizabeth Winnow. I want to spend all my days and all my nights with you. Marry me." The shiver that just ran down my spine. Oh my god. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel very... So much has been happening. I am still digesting all of it. This entire thing with the war, The siren has sounded and the war is coming to them now, and they have stayed behind. The way she's written it is just so real. It's so daunting to read about, and I just keep thinking that this is very real life stuff. It's fantasy and it involves gods, but the way the war is playing out, it happens in real life. And that is just so daunting and saddening to think about. But they're getting married now. Like, Attie just dressed her up and braided her hair, and they're going to the garden to get married. Feels really beautiful. Honestly, like, this kind of thing is not something I usually enjoy, but somehow it feels really comforting to read about. We have like the last bit of pages to go. This is all I have left, so I'm gonna finish this and then come back to you. So just wanted to say that there's something really warm and gentle about the way their romance has been written, and it's really reminding me of the relationship in A Study in Drowning. The romance in there gives very similar vibes to the romance in here, and I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed this as well. So I don't know, I think if you enjoy this book, you will probably enjoy A Study in Drowning as well. I just finished the book. That was a lot. Those last 50 pages were a lot. I knew they would get separated because this is a duology, it's a romantasy. Of course, they would get separated. Lots of questions still, obviously. I'm very unsure about how to feel about her brother. I'm not able to sort my thoughts about him right now. And Dakre has taken Roman now to be his correspondent. Interesting. I guess we're gonna visit his realm now. I'm also really curious to see Enva now. Yeah, I want to read ahead. This was a lot. The last 50 pages were definitely a lot. I'm really happy with the book, basically. Like, I'm still processing, but yeah, I really enjoyed the reading experience. I don't think it's like a 5 star for me. There are some books that are cemented in my heart forever, and I thought this could be one of them initially, but I don't think it is. Like, I will think about it. I feel like I might have this on my mind a lot, and I really did love it. Like, I do love the book, but I don't think it's quite a 5 star. Still really happy, very curious. So we're gonna start reading Ruthless Vows now. Immediately diving into this because I'm hungry to know more. Also, I think between the two, this one might be my favorite cover. Even though I love blue covers, but this one is just so well done. Ugh, can't wait. Hi everybody. It's been a while. You know how I said I'm gonna wake up and start reading the book immediately? I lied. It's been a week and I only just started reading Ruthless Vows like today, like half an hour ago. Kind of had a busy week, but I'm excited to pick up the book now. I've also had more time to mull over my thoughts about Divine Rivals, and as much as I loved that book, I do think that maybe it was a little too hyped for me and it did not live up to that hype, but I still enjoyed it. It's a 4 star for me. I just don't think it was like a grand 6 star book the way everyone talks about it being. But I am excited to read Ruthless Vows. I did start it, like I said, half an hour ago, so I am like 30 pages in. That's how much I've read. Pretty nice. Since it's been a week, getting back into this writing is fun because I do love the way she writes. I know people say that this book is more about the world building, which I'm excited for because I've been curious about it and I want to know more. So I personally am looking forward to that. I just reached the part where they find out that Roman is now writing for Dakre. I think things are gonna get exciting from here on out because we'll see some rivalry now, and yeah, I'm just excited to see where the story goes because I don't really know where we can go from here, what the possibilities are. I had work in the morning, but I have the rest of my day free. It's like almost 6 p.m. actually. Yeah, it's just you, me, and this book for the rest of the night. Let's get to it. I'm 65 pages in, and Iris has just sent out her first letter to Roman through the first alouette. The only thing I'm worried about is that Dakre might not have destroyed the other typewriter and he might receive her letter, or like if they start going back and forth, he might start receiving their letters. But another thing I want to talk about was how much I'm enjoying the writing even in this book. Like, I truly admire the way she writes. Like this little thing over here, it felt like no time had passed as she slid the page beneath her wardrobe door. No time at all, and yet it also felt like seasons bloomed and molted in a single unsteady breath. Let's keep reading. Update time. It's the next day. I read a little bit last night and I haven't read anything today. It's again around 7:30. I had a lot of work today. But yesterday when I was reading, I reached page 137. A decent way into the book. Just reached the part where Roman has figured out some of Darkrei's plans and he told Iris about it, and now Iris is going to Hawkshire. So far everything's been pretty chill, but now I'm starting to feel some butterflies in my tummy because I think things are gonna get risky now. Apart from this, what I'm also feeling is like I feel like when I started reading Divine Rivals, I thought the world building would be similar to Stephanie Garber's type of world building, which is like very mystical and very rich. But it's not that way, at least so far. We have the mythology around the gods, which again I would love to know more because there's scope for so much more. And we have a couple of magical elements in their world, like some buildings are enchanted, Roman's house was enchanted, and then the typewriters, of course. But those are very few things. Not It's not like magic is ever present in their world and it's everywhere. It's not like that. I keep feeling like I wish we had a little bit more, just a little bit more, you know? Something that I find really interesting right now is that we've just got the second dream that she had with her mother and music playing in the background. And I wonder if Enva is calling to her or like trying to speak to her. This was something I was wondering in the first book as well, if like Enva and Iris had some sort of connection. Also, we have that other god who sends messages through dreams or can manipulate dreams, right? So I wonder if they will come into play. I don't know. Lots of different directions this can go. I had gone out for dinner and I got home and I immediately got back into reading because I was too curious. I left off at a very interesting part. I was thinking about it throughout dinner. So I just had to get back into it immediately. Iris and Roman finally met. They came across each other. He remembers her, I think, maybe almost fully, and he's chosen to stay behind. So they're parting ways again. But yeah, they finally met. He remembers her. So now the dynamic is changing. I think we're gonna take the war all the way to Earth and see how it happens. I'm really wondering how the war is gonna end. Like Enva is gonna show up in the end, right? She has to. I wonder how it will end. Things will change in their world, and I don't know what that could be like. Roman and Iris just exchanged their first set of letters now that he has his entire memory back, and I just have to read out some parts to you because these letters just gave me so much warmth. He said, "Dear Iris, should I be surprised that I was falling in love with you a second time? Should I be surprised that your words found me here, even in the darkness, that I've been carrying your e-letters close to my heart like they are a shield to protect me? I know we are no longer rivals, but if we are keeping tally like the old days, you have far outshined me with your wit and your courage, which reminds me of one simple thing: how I love to lose to you, how I love to read your words and hear the thoughts that sharpen your mind, and how I would love to be on my knees before you now, surrendering to you and you alone." And then he says, "I want to know your thoughts. I confess that I am hungry for your words." Iris tells him, "Perhaps you and I can help shorten this war, or at least dare to change the course of the tides. Or maybe that is too much to hope for, but I find that I am leaning more on the side of impossibility these days. I am leaning towards the edge of magic." I loved these letters. This was like the sweetest way to bring his memories back and bring them both together now. Good morning, everyone. Let's avoid looking at the messy table behind me. I just woke up a little bit ago. I wanted to update you on where I got to. I read quite a bit last night. I have only part 4 remaining. So this is how much I have left now. I really wanted to finish it because we're reaching like the climax point. I really wanted to finish it, but it was getting late and I had to sleep because I have so much work today. I really hope we're able to finish this today. I need to like work out and take a bath now, and then I have a meeting at 10:30, and then in the evening I have to leave for work. I'll be home by like 10:30 in the night. And also the Paralympics are starting today, so I'd like to watch whatever I can. So I hope we get the time to finish this today, but we'll see. The story feels so immersive, which I really like, and that's all thanks to her writing, honestly. Like I am just page by page, I'm mesmerized by her writing. I love her writing. We've reached the part where they went to that meeting by invitation, and there's a bomb, and the bomb blew off, and that's all we know so far. So can you imagine my curiosity right now? So far, these are the questions that I have. Atty also got the dream about Enva's song. So I'm wondering how this is working exactly, because obviously Atty and Iris, the dreams that they're getting of the song are different from the ones that the soldiers were getting, right? They were getting called to war, and that's not what's happening over here. So why only these two? Atty specifically, why now? Iris has been getting these dreams for a while. There's also a bunch of other gods in the mix. I don't know if we'll see them. I hope we do. Also, one thing I'm thinking of is, will Kit ever really completely heal? Because he was on the verge of dying because of the smoke and his injuries. And they seem to be getting worse. So I wonder what the deal will be over there. Another thing I'm confused about is that Atty said that they can, play the song. She can play the song on the violin and put Darkrai to sleep. And it just makes me think of like, so anyone playing that specific song can put Darkrai and other people to sleep. So there's magic in the song, sure, but then it's not really like oh, it's Enva and her ability with her music and her magic, and only Enva can put her to sleep. So what's the point of Enva's magic? Like that was supposed to be like the original story was about how great an influence Enva's magic was through her music that she could even put Darkrai to sleep. If anyone can do that through any instrument, then what is the point of her magic? So far in the book we were still going on about the army and retreating to Oath and all of that stuff, but like in the last 50 pages we started seeing them plotting how to kill Darkrai. I think things are gonna really go quick now, and I wonder if it'll be them who will kill Darkrai or if it'll be Enva. I think it'll probably be them, because we got the tidbit about how if a human kills a god they actually die. So that'll be interesting to see, because we also specifically, there was a line that was mentioned in the book where Iris was scared and hiding when Roman first found her, and she specifically thought, I have never killed someone. And I feel like it's a rite of passage for every main character in a fantasy book to kill someone. Also, I must mention all the side characters also I do enjoy. I love Marisol and Atty, and I love the little thing going on between Atty and Bexley. Okay, so Iris is injured. She hobbled her way to the museum, and there's a lady there. She has no name, no badge, and she's like being very gentle with Iris, looking after her. She didn't ask her any questions, and she told her she plays instruments. And how much do you want to bet that this is Enva? Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts. I just reached the part where Darkrai is telling Iris to write for him. They've met physically now. But before I go ahead, the last 100 pages or so, I've been really questioning myself about why this book and the series doesn't feel like a 5-star to me. Like, I love the books, okay? I love the story, I love the plot line, I love the writing, but it doesn't feel like a 5-star. And then I think the answer finally struck me. And what I came to the conclusion was this. Like I said, I love the story, the plot line, I love the writing style, I love the characters too. They feel so real and fleshed out. It's really impeccable storytelling for sure. However, it's a very you get what you see kind of a book. And what I mean by that is, usually fantasies that I'll read, there's a lot of nuance and gray area to those books in terms of both plot and the characters and their intentions. When there's so much nuance and there's so much gray area, it adds a lot of emotional depth and higher stakes to the story, which is what is lacking in this book. And I'm not saying that you have to have morally gray people in a story to make it interesting. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that in general, to storytelling, there's always gray characters, both good people and bad people. There's nuanced storytelling, and those factors create an enigma to the characters and to the plot, which this doesn't have. Because of that, like I said, it lacks a little bit of emotional depth, and there's no stakes. I know they're gonna have a happy ending. While I'm invested, I'm also very comfortable, and I like to be a little uncomfortable when I'm reading my fantasies. Because of that, I'm also just not second guessing anything, because this book hasn't asked of that kind of involvement from me. And that's basically what it is, right? I'm not involved in the story, which is why it's not a 5-star. That's what I've been thinking about. But also, coming back to the story and Iris and her interaction with Enva, I'm not sure how I'll feel about Iris taking up a sword and killing Darkrai. If that is what happens, I don't feel too good about that, because that is not her skill set. It just feels very out of character for her, and for any other characters, like they don't possess that kind of skill. It would be very out of the blue. That kind of plotline would be very out of character for the story that we've had so far. What I would prefer is if Enva was the one who took up the sword, or Enva was the one who killed Darkrai, and if she died in the process as well. Like that would be a pretty great ending, I personally feel. I'm okay with magic dying as well, because like I said, like in this book, when Enva told her that she would die and the magic would die with them if they both died, and Iris was like, I don't want magic to die. But I was like, girl, why? It's not like you depend on the magic. Like I was talking earlier about how I wish there was a lot more depth to the magic in the world building. We've barely seen a few elements of magic. It's not like it's part of their daily living and it's part of themselves. Even if magic stopped existing, it would hardly change a thing in her life. Like, why are you so worried about that? We've also never seen her show any kind of faith or admiration for magic through the series either. So it's not like she has some kind of attachment to it either. Why do you care if magic dies? Like, chill. As fascinated as I am by the magic system, that because it has a lot of potential, I'm okay with having this go. If this was something like Harry Potter and it was like, if Voldemort dies, magic in the world dies, yeah, that would be high stakes. That would be like, oh my god, how can that happen? But here it's pretty chill. And a fantasy that poses as a high stake fantasy but still comes across as chill can't be 5 stars for me. But that's just my train of thought, obviously. That's a personal opinion. But we still have a few pages to go. This is how far I am into the story. Maybe my opinion will change. We never know. We don't know what the climax will be like, what the end will be like. I thought we reached the climax, but we didn't. But yeah, we don't know what the end will be like. So let's just keep reading and let's see if my mind changes about this. Okay, a lot has happened and I need a quick second to talk about it all. First of all, Dakre found out about Roman being the traitor, and he finally confessed, and he told him that I betrayed you because I love her. And the things he went on to say afterwards, oh my god. And he said, I betrayed you because I love Iris Elizabeth Winnow. She represents all that is good in this realm, and your attack on Hawkshire simply threatened her. I couldn't bear to live in a world where she was slain by your selfishness, and so I warned her. I couldn't bear to live in a world where you killed countless of my people or wounded them, only to heal them in part so that they would feel confused, indebted, and beholden to you. You, sir, never healed me as you should have. You are the author of my wounds to begin with. I would have never breathed the gas that has scarred my lungs if not for you. I would have never felt the bite of shrapnel in my legs if not for you. And what a cruel and terrible thing it is to be a divine with such power and magic and yet find yourself so small-minded and afraid that you decide to live out your endless days harming others. Instead of letting us choose to love you for the God you could be, you have forced us to serve you by way of pain and terror. That is unforgivable and a lesson you will have learned too late when you lose this war against us. You never saved me like you claim. In the field of Avalon Bluff, you didn't save me, but Iris did. Oh my god, he popped off. I love it. I love the way that's written. Main character energy. Dakre made Iris write about how he's gonna bomb the city, the south side of the city. So Earth is coming down now. The entire scene where they're like all rushing off to find safe places, and we're talking about all the people who are rushing around and they're scared and they're panicked and there's chaos everywhere. Like the song that's playing in my head in the background is the song from Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, where we're seeing all scenes of them fighting against the Death Eaters, and it's like a violent symphony. It's very haunting music. It was playing in my head while I was reading that. And then I just read this chapter which was from the perspective of everybody else who's involved in the story. Keegan and Marisol and Helena and Forrest and Tobias, which by the way, can I just say Tobias, the addition of Tobias in this book, chef's kiss. Yeah, but we saw the perspective of all of them as Earth was being bombed, and god, that chapter really got to me. I love the way it was written. Yeah, it made me a little bit emotional. I don't think I will have time to finish it, which is so sad because this is all that I have left. So I'm trying to hurry through and trying to finish this before I have to leave. Let's see if I can accomplish that. But yeah, let's just keep reading. Okay, some good news and some bad news. Well, good news for the vlog, I guess. Bad news for me personally. I had a session for DMT in the evening, which has now been postponed. Last minute. We love that. Unfortunately, a session has been postponed, which sucks for me. But it's kind of good too because now I get to stay home and finish that fucking book. So I barely have anything left. I'm on page 387. This is how much I have left. That's barely anything. So let's sit through it and finish it right now. Okay, so I finished the book, all done with the duology. Really good book, I enjoyed it. I still think that the way they killed Dakre was just far too easy. I don't know, I wish something different had happened maybe, I don't know. And the way she closed the book also just felt, I don't know what it felt, it was just okay. I don't know what I was expecting. In the end, whatever we did get was just okay to me. Regardless, the book is pretty good, very well written. I do like the characters. So I had a good time. I think I've been talking about it quite a bit this entire reading vlog. Overall, it's a 4 out of 5 stars for me, which is a very good rating. I am really happy with these books and I would recommend it to people. Yeah, I'm glad I read them. Really great story, and I definitely want to check out more of her work. So I'm gonna look into what other books she has, and I think I'm gonna follow this author's journey. Let me know if I'm alone in these thoughts or if you guys feel this way as well. But just share with me what you feel about this duology. I would love to know. With that, we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Storygraph. It'll all be linked down below. And you can like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. Engage with me. I always enjoy your engagement. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.